everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Crystal Hoyt Beauty. Today's look is going to be a Bohemian Princess music festival makeup look. This is the time of year that we have Bonaroo here in Tennessee. Seeing a huge trend in music festival makeup, which is all very boho chic and lots of fun colors and just a lot of self-expression. So the whole point of this is there are no rules to this. This is going to be all about having fun, playing with more color than I normally get to play with, and doing a really wild fuchsia gold ombre lip. Highlighter out the wazoo, because why not? And there's lots of embellishments and everything else. So this is a lot of fun for me because I don't get to do stuff like this very often. I get to do it on other people, but not necessarily always on myself. The colors were inspired by my best friend's artwork. I tend to get in a rut from time to time, and I go looking for different ideas or things to inspire me, and specifically when it comes to color combinations. When I went back to a picture I remember of my best friend's that he did, here it is. This beautiful mermaid. She had this great pink and orange hair, and so that's where my whole color combination came from. So this is kind of a collab with him, whether he knew it or not. Plus he's also kind of my enabler with makeup. Thank you, Dan, for inspiring these colors. Be sure to check Dan out on Instagram as well. I'm going to put his link next to mine. Thanks again for tuning in. Let me know what looks you want to see next, and subscribe if you can. I look forward to seeing y'all back soon for some new looks. Thanks again.
Okay, getting started. There's my dark circles. I already have my eyebrows on, and how about that blemish? Okay. So using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, I'm going to take this all over under my foundation. And this primer is not one I use all the time, but if you're going to be in a humid environment, it is fantastic for grabbing and binding all of these products that I'm going to be putting on and holding them on. I'm starting with this peachier shade from the NYX Corrected Conceal palette, and I'm going to put this just on the inside corner of my eye. Now I'm switching to the yellow shade that is in this corrector palette, and I'm going to be using this just on any redness that I see popping through. Lightly tapping this on. I had a little breakout, thank you PMS. So just anywhere I see redness, I'm going to tap this on, and then using my beauty blender, I'm just going to very lightly blend this. I'm not going to completely blend this in because I'm going to be going back over this with foundation. So I'm using the Laura Mercier Flawless Fluide because it is extremely long wearing and it's sweat proof, and so you're going to shake this up really well. I'm taking it with a flat synthetic brush and then going right back over it with my dampened beauty blender, working it in sections, pressing it in. It's going to give a sheer to medium coverage, not a full coverage. So if you need more coverage, you can layer a little bit. So here's a little secret of mine. This is the Bare Minerals original formula of powder mineral foundation. I am using this with a flat brush, tapping off the excess into the lid so it doesn't grab onto that moist foundation whenever I first touch it to my skin. So tap it off really well, and then I'm gonna go back with my beauty blender and press this in. This is my trick to making things stay on. I never apply this by itself because I find that it does tend to settle into pores and lines and make things just look more obvious on the skin, but on top of a liquid foundation, it adds a little bit of coverage, a really pretty luminosity, and it stays on like nobody's business. This is the Painterly paint pot that I use in almost every video because, as you can see, it wipes out redness and darkness on my lids and makes everything stay on and blend better. This is the Too Faced Stardust palette that I'm going to be starting with. I'm using the shade Chandelier, and I'm really packing this on a little bit more than I normally would underneath my brow bone. Here I'm switching to a warm neutral shade that I'm taking right above the crease and blending up towards the brow bone. Now I'm using a very flat, firm brush that I'm gonna pack this color on with because I really want this to pop. This is almost an orange gold with a shimmer that I'm taking right on the outside corner, and I'm taking it just right up to the crease. So on the lid, up to the crease, only halfway through the eye. Then I'm going to switch here to this really bright yellow gold that's also got a shimmer to it. So I'm going to take that on this inside corner of the lid, finishing out the rest of the lid up to the crease. For time, I'm just going to tell you what colors I'm using here. I put this above my crease. This is Brulee from MAC, and it's kind of a bold matte orange. And I really layered and blended that in. And then I took the shade Handwritten, which is more of a cool brown, just on the outside corner and crease of the eye. So I didn't really take it under the lid. I took it more just into the crease and the corner of the crease and buffed that out. So you can see that here. Switching here to a bright fuchsia pink from Morphe brushes in Rosewood, I'm going to be using a MAC pencil brush and widening this on the outside corner of the eye and extending it just past my eye. These shades from Morphe are great because they're very reasonable. So if it's a color you're not going to wear as frequently, you're not spending a lot of money on it, but you're getting a really good quality product because as you can see, there's a lot of pigment in there. This is Peekaboo, also from Morphe, and I'm going to be smudging this just right underneath with a more fluffy brush just to give it a light airbrushed effect underneath the eye. This is the Caviar stick from Laura Mercier, which I'm going to be using in my waterline in copper, and it's just going to give that really pretty shimmer right in the waterline. Using an angled brush, I'm going to be going back to the Too Faced Stardust palette and using this kind of light pink color called Selfie on the inside corner of the eye only. Now the real feature of this look is going to come in with the eyeliners. So starting with a liquid lipstick, actually from ColourPop Cosmetics, I'm using a really tiny fine lining brush from Vega, and I'm going to be using this right underneath my lashes. And then we're going to be doing a reverse wing on this inside corner of the eye. So I'm just going to tip this down and let it start to disappear, going towards the inside of the nose. And I just want to try to keep them as symmetrical as possible, tipping down on that inside area. And then I'm smudging a little bit of Rosewood back over that again with that pencil brush. These new formulas of liquid lipstick are amazing because once they dry down, they're non-transferable. They don't budge. They're on all day. This is the cat eyeliner from Jordana, which I noticed I misspelled on my description there. Sorry about that. I'm going to take this just across the top lashes, and then I'm going to sweep this up and make just a slight wing here, but I'm not going to do my normal wing. I just want a little swoop here because I'm going to be going over this with something else here shortly. Switching to the NYX white liquid liner, this is probably my favorite white liquid liner. I've tried several recently and they typically are not opaque enough to get this look. What I'm doing is I'm going directly on top of the line I just created in gold, and I'm doing a line out of dots, very small dots right on top, and they don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Once they're all on, it will end up balancing out and look perfect from a distance. And as you can see, I'm just putting a tiny space between each dot and then giving a little extra wing right on the edge. Moving on to mascara, I'm using the Better Than Sets from Too Faced. I'm gonna layer 1 to 2 coats on top here because I'm not using lashes that are super thick. These are going to be a little bit more just for length and adding just more of that ethereal, feathery look to the lash. This is the Cream Shop number 43, and I love these because they're really long on the outside corners, which look great with this look. Since I don't have a darker liner on top, it's going to help to bring that more almond shape out in my eye. Okay, using the Anastasia cream contouring palette here, I'm going to be using the shade Banana, and I'm going to be using this very lightly. I just have a little bit on my brush that I'm just moving throughout that whole under eye area. And I'm using a lot less product here than I would normally use if I were going to an evening event or if I was going to be doing a photo shoot with all this highlight and contour. The reason being, a lot of the performances are going to be during the day. It's going to be hot. And if you have on a ton of highlight and contour, it's a lot more obvious if you're outside in natural daylight. So you want to use this very lightly, very sparingly, and you want to blend it really, really well. If you're oilier, you're going to want to skip doing a cream, and I would stick to powder highlight and contour here, but you can do the same basic techniques. You can use just bronzers, you can use highlighting powders, but you want to just make sure, again, and do it a little more sparing than you would for nighttime if you were going out, just so that it's not as obvious that you've used light and dark colors in different places on your face. You want it to all look very seamless and blended when you get through. So I'm just using a clean, flat synthetic brush here to buff out all the dark color. And then I go back in with my Beauty Blender to blend out all of that light color. Now I've dampened my Beauty Blender here a good bit more than usual because this particular formula of highlighter is pretty opaque, and I really want to make sure that I get that blended into the foundation so it looks nice and natural whenever I finish that. Now I'm going to be switching to my Benefit Hoola bronzer, and this is a matte finish bronzer, which I'm using specifically because I don't want a shimmer bronzer when I'm going to be using so much shimmery highlighter on my cheekbones later to finish this look. Anyone who knows me knows I love to repurpose things. This used to be an earring that was broken, so now it has become the embellishment in the center of my forehead as my jewel. You can use anything that lays flat there. It can be a rhinestone. It can be anything that just has a flat surface, and just adhere it with eyelash glue. And here I'm taking that metallic gold and creating a line of dots as symmetrically as I can get them across the top of my eyebrows. And then I'm going to be going in with the liquid white here and creating a line of dots in between each gold dot. So I'm doing that all the way across the top. And then I'm going to be coming down the center here and giving just a few extra dots coming off of that jewel with the white and the gold to finish my little headband here. Using a very blue pink undertoned blush, I'm layering it on and then going back with a clean powder brush and really buffing that in so the color looks like it's coming from inside of me, not sitting on top of my skin. And then I'm going to be using the Peach Mosaic, which I love, from Laura Mercier. Look at that glow. I'm layering it on with a fan brush, and I'm just going crazy with it here because with this look, why not? It's as ethereal as I want it to be. I'm going back to my ColourPop liquid lipstick. You don't need a lip pencil with these, but if you want that perfect line, you do need to use a lip brush. So I'm just using a lip brush with the liquid lipstick. And what I'm going to be doing is lining and filling in almost all of my mouth except for the very center of my lip to create this ombre fuchsia gold lip. I'm going to come on the outside corners and really fill in and then leave the center of my lip bare. And here I'm using the same metallic gold liquid eyeliner in the center of my lip once that pink has dried, and you have to go in and layer this. Now, I will say this dries very quickly. So as soon as you put on a layer, you have to immediately blend it out and then do the other lip. And you want to layer this several times and keep blending until you get it correct. If you mess it up, wipe it off, start over. It's just makeup. It's not a tattoo. It takes a little while, so give yourself some time. But once this dries, when I say it doesn't budge, I'm not kidding. It doesn't move. And to seal the deal, I'm going to use the Chantecaille HD powder to just lightly set everything. This is just completely translucent. It's just going to set it all over. If you're oilier, I would recommend maybe doing a setting spray on top of this. And as you can see, this lip color, like I said, completely non-transferable, will not budge. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Come back to get crystallized again soon.